focus on the lesson. Live in the hills, but it still get a spread. Started with a live, but it still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but the sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. You got a big money catalyst tomorrow, the PCE. Honestly, I'm only showing this to you because I realized how impressionable everybody is off the thumbnails. I don't know why I've been doing YouTube for so long, but still. And honestly, too, my girlfriend, she caught on to my plan, and she broke up with me because I kept using her for views. So, all right, hold on. Oh, wait, I almost forgot, though. Tell me this. I posted this on my Instagram. Would you take this stack of cash, or would you take this 100 ounces of metal? Without me disclosing, just what you're seeing here, which one would you take? Is cash trash? I don't know. You tell me. So yeah, Chad, if you want to help me get my relationship back, and if you want to see the girlfriend cam, we need 3,000 likes on this video. But I hope you had a wonderful day. We got a lot to talk about. Do not worry. I'm not going to waste your time here. We are going to get straight into what to expect for the PCE tomorrow. Again, it could be a big money event. What do I mean by that? We may see a very large move after it comes out, but you've been seeing it last week. You saw it even over the last couple days. Things have definitely calmed down. So if a certain situation arises from PCE tomorrow, we may see a small move. However, any other big surprises, it is going to get crazy. So we're going to go into that. As far as today, though, it was a little bit crazy. We got to talk about it. There was a lot of back and forth. And the big thing about today, the dollar, bonds, commodities, everything you could think about moved, but we were still left kind of doing nothing. And this is kind of giving credence to what we've been hearing about the year-end or the quarter-end rebalance. So keep all of that in mind. That's what we got today. There was a lot of anticipation, even with Powell. It didn't do much. Again, we opened up listening to Powell. Powell was speaking before the market even opened. So it was really weird. We didn't get much today. But now the question is, was this the cushion or preparation for tomorrow? We're going to find out. So drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/the-stack. I don't know why I was leaning in on that. We're going to see you there tomorrow morning, and God bless you. If you've been staying in the game, it's been a very difficult market. So some of y'all, you just don't give up. I like it. I like to see it, but it's not as if anything was too bad today anyways. But let's get to the keys. Like I said, PCE, this is what we got to talk about. So I'm going to have the keys here, but right above right here, this is showing you where all the estimates are across a bell curve. Pretty much 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviation. You could see where most analysts are aligning for tomorrow. Now, what is going to be the key? It is very simple. It is going to be an important number. The PCE, if you're not familiar, the Fed does not look at inflation via CPI. They look at it through PCE, so that's why it is important. And really, we saw this today with personal consumption. That actually dropped big. It fed into the quarter, the Q1 GDP numbers, but personal spending and personal income, that could have more of an effect, which could affect bonds or dollars, because people are using this to judge the consumer, and I'm telling you, they're very scared right now. Anything related to the consumer that's not good data, you're not going to get a good response. So in a weird way, those two numbers might have a bigger effect than not. But now here is the simple point that you need to get. If any number comes above 6.4 tomorrow, that is the expectation. If it comes in any higher, that will cause a negative reaction. Now, will it be a big one? Probably not. So if it comes in at 6.4, if it comes in, let's say, at 6.5, you will get a negative reaction, but it's not going to be full-blown, oh my gosh, panic like we saw 2 weeks ago with the CPI. Why? Because anything below 6.6 would still mean that inflation is not setting another high. Remember, 2 weeks ago with CPI, the problem was the chart we thought it was moderating, and then it ended up rocketing up. That's what people do not want to see. So that being said, now, any number on the PCE above 6.6%, if it comes in at 6.7, if it comes in at 6.8, that will cause a very big negative reaction. That is going to be the big money catalyst right there. And now on the reverse, anything substantially lower than 6.4, oh my goodness, that will probably be a good reaction, believe it or not, unless market wants to do the whole good news, bad news anyways. But we will see with that, but keep all of this in mind. Again, we saw what happened with the CPI. We get the PCE. Next week, we get Fed minutes. Then before you know it, the week after that, CPI, and then you got Powell. So this is the PCE that the Fed is looking at coming into July. So keep all of that in mind. But that's the big rundown. That's what we're looking for tomorrow. As far as what we had today, it was Chop City filled with lag. So to understand this, what I'm trying to say with what happened today, you had so many movements and so many things. I'm telling you, energy was like up and then it went down. When the stock market was hitting new lows, the Dow was up 0.6, and then the next time the S&P came back down to those lows, the Dow was down. It was all over the place today, but there was a lot of lag, and this is what I told you yesterday. Remember, we brought up the dollar and the SPY, and we said, well, dollar moved, and then SPY eventually caught up. Well, same exact move here on the dollar, except this time it affected all of the global currencies. We got stronger, they all got weaker. You saw the same move. We gapped up in the open. It didn't move much. It actually started climbing towards the end of the day, a little bit more movement than yesterday, but we were kind of seeing if the market was going to catch up. So that's where I'm saying that's some of the lagging effect. You saw the bonds today, they went up, and that was pointing towards recession fears. Again, personal consumption, Q1 GDP, all of the negative data we've gotten this week, people are worried about the consumer and those recession fears. So that's why you're watching the bonds tick up. Remember, this is the little adage that we've been giving you guys to get a better idea of what the bond market is saying. If TOT goes up, that's usually pointing towards recession, economic growth, slowdown fears. If TOT goes down and bond yields shoot up, that is saying people are worried about inflation and what the Fed will need to do to chill things out. So the point I'm saying with today, we had dollar moves, we had bond moves, SPY didn't move too much. Again, even oil and energy companies, there was a lot of things that happened. And now just keep in mind what happened, because chances are something is lagging and we're going to watch it catch up either after the data tomorrow or more towards the end of the week. So that's the big thing. And now the final point I was looking for today, but yesterday's drop, it really messed up the puts, and then even any of the quick rallies, it would be weird with the calls, but just start getting ready for earnings. Again, we're talking about things lagging, and I'm telling you, earnings is still lagging. We told you at the beginning of the week, the market is starting to whisper about this idea that, wait, why are all the margin estimates for companies high, but the market's down 20% lower and they haven't caught up? People are waiting for these earnings revisions, whether it's before earnings or after. But now, like I'm saying, we're kind of watching this lag a little bit. But today after hours, you heard from Restoration Hardware. They guided down this morning with Bed Bath & Beyond. You got the note there on Carnival Cruise Lines from Morgan Stanley. So point is, we're slowly watching it inch up here. I think by next week, we might hear a little bit more of it. So we're going to see what happens with that. But I would keep your eye on earnings. Obviously, we're watching the macro data, where things are at, the levels and all that. But the next real catalyst, if it's not going to be oil, and oil going up while bonds, break-evens, and a lot of things are going down, oil might start to be in a controlling position. They call it the bull hand pretty much, where they're going to be the one to do the bullwhip effect because they're controlling. Anyway, we talked about it on stream. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is that everything is lagging right now except oil. And as we get this data and move into the next week, we are really going to see what's happening. So let us get into the plays. But as far as the plays, I got 3 different ones that I'm looking at. I have a play on 2 of them. One of them will be an average down, but let's start with the first one, Robinhood, baby. I grabbed the debit spread to play the delayed buyout news, but upon looking at it, I was like, maybe I should have just went with less contracts and kept it naked for more upside. But the whole idea with this play, you heard it at the beginning of the week. People went back and forth, but literally go look at the call contracts. You could have played this news on day 1, and unless unless you bought it at the bottom, you would probably be down about 50 to 60% right now. So premiums came down. There was a good deal. I thought by using a debit spread, I could take advantage of any elevated premiums, and the further out the money's had that. So I bought a $13 call for August. Then I shorted the $17 call. So that's 13 to 17, $4 per share. So every contract you can make maximum no more than $400 a contract, but I spent 16 cents each, bought 10 of them, $160. Max gain is about $4,000 minus the $160 that we spent, so like $3,800. But I like it, gives me a little bit of time, and I'm assuming that if there really is going to be an offer on the table, we might hear about it later, but I just like the ability to get into it now cheaper, still get a little bit exposure, and then hopefully using the spreads to take advantage of exorbitant premium. But that's the first play. Coming into the second one now, Boeing. So we made this earlier in the week. You would have think that play got clapped because the next day Boeing went up 5%, but it's like 2 or 3 cents below where I bought it, and that's what I'm liking about it. Pretty much this is going to be another delayed news play, and it just looks ready to move. I mean, you've seen Boeing. Look at the daily. We've seen all the moves, and the fact that the premiums are holding up, I like it, and that's why we're going to see what happens the rest of the week, but it looks like an opportunity on both sides. However, I am going for the put side, and I think the news is going to be negative. Again, beginning of the week, there was reports about all of the 737 problems since returning, and people were saying there might be another probe or investigation, and I'm assuming we may hear news like that. I don't think it came from nowhere, so if we hear that in the next couple of days, I think it could be a reaction, but I don't know how big it'll move things, so we will see what happens. But that is the second play, and finally, number 3, baby, Home Depot and Lowe's. Realistically, I want to go for restoration, but I think it's going to be a little bit wild there, but I think going for a sympathy would be better, but that's the reason why I'm going to be watching these tomorrow. Restoration Hardware, they had very bad guidance, and this is a company that's been doing good. Remember, it was only a couple months ago they had earnings and they did good. And people were like, oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, okay, things are good. But the CEO, he came out, he was like retails or luxury home sales down 18%. Really, he started listing all these statistics and he was like, yeah, I think demand is going to go down. He was mentioning the Fed and everything else. So it does not look good. The stock already reacted about 5%, but I'm going to be watching Home Depot and Lowe's as a cheaper sympathy. Again, restoration's more luxury, definitely different than Home Depot and Lowe's. I tell you, it's so expensive, but we're going to find out. I think that'll be a good play, so definitely watch out for that. As far as everything else, Robinhood was the only other play that I made today. I didn't do much. We were doing a lot of looking at XLU and XLV. I would keep my eyes on those. Again, EWZ, I am going to average down on it. The thing is, I would have got it today, but when we opened up in the morning, the plays came back to 16, so I was like, all right, if they're able to jump up that quick, it's not like fully gutter just yet. I want to get it at a better deal, but I like the play. It's honestly looking a little bit better now. We got to see where materials and all that goes, but definitely keep your eye out for them. I still like the Baba stuff and Neo. Neo even dropped 10% today, then bounced up, so we'll see how it plays, but going to be watching all those. Watch the travel stocks, and like I said earlier, oil is in pole position. They control a lot right now simply because a lot of the trends from commodities to everything else, even bonds, break-evens, they've all been going down. How many times am I going to do this? But they've all been going down, and the whole point is oil looked like that up until the last 4 days, and if oil starts moving up like that, well, they might start to control some of the narrative, and we might see reaction, so I am definitely going to be watching that. But very straightforward, tomorrow's PCE, hopefully we see you there, and hopefully you're ready to wrap up the week, and Monday is still closed, but we love you, and that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to remember, baby, focus on the habits. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to distract you. The habits. You need to know the habits, and you need to make some habit changes. You don't need to stop doing stuff. Maybe you just need to make a habit to start doing stuff. Isn't that crazy? You know how hyped I am, bro. Look at, why is this button doing? The worst time wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, okay. I love you, Chad. Have a wonderful evening. Have a good night. I love you, Chad. And just thank you guys for everything. And just good on you for staying in the game. Hopefully you guys are having a little bit more fun, even though the waves are still going crazy. But I love you. I'll see you in the morning. Drink that water. I love you, Chad. Peace out. Don't cut it out. Yeah, tell me what show that. Okay. All right. I love you. Bye.